Before we start the video, I want to let you guys know about Gnosis. It's an analytical tool which you load your demos into and it breaks them all down for you. The positions you're playing throughout an entire game or multiple games, the heat maps of the positions of the player you're interested in, where the opening kills are coming from, opening deaths are coming from, and all the utility thrown throughout all the demos you load into it. And then if you want to know even more information, you hit the play feature and it brings up this really useful little tab and you can see exactly what on the entire round. So check the link out in the description below and use code Elmapuddy or 50% off your first 3 months. As most of you know, the ECS Finals have rolled around and gone, and Astralis was sent packing by Furia, beaten in both the first BO1 on Nuke and then the BO3, where the final map Nuke once again went in the favour of Furia. So I want to talk about what exactly happened in this map 3. How were Furia able to pull this off? Because in my mind, these are two very different teams. I think Astralis on the way down a little bit, Furia on the way up. I also think if you look at this match overall, Astralis played better Team CS. They obviously are very known for this. They like to do stuff very properly. However, Furia, they had the far superior players on the day. They were sharper, better hitting those headshots, but I think they also made better individual decisions in the moment, not being scared and being confident in their fights, which, as I said, they were winning because they were the sharper team on the day. And this is going to be the first example here. Furia buying nothing but smokes run into this round. It's more of a full eco for them. But Astralis, as per usual, leaving nothing unturned, being very patient, checking those backs, waiting for anyone's trying to flank. They hear Quesarado and take that player out. Again, here you're going to see all the utility continue to come out from Astralis. The smoke down there before they all push in together. Notice as well, I've seen Furia like to use sound cues and these little baits to try and give themselves a chance in the round. You can see Quesarado basically sacrificed himself to allow Yuri to flank in here behind. And then when we continue on the theme with players who shouldn't be winning battles, but they are because they seem to be sharper, I think a little bit rusty from Astralis, if I'm being honest, playing a lot less tournaments. We've got Device with an SG fighting Art down in that dark area. We've got Zip about to come over with his UMP. But what's Art going to do? He's going to somehow avoid Device, kill Zip, and while he's done all this, Yuri's able to creep in behind and take out Device. And at this point here, Art's able to tuck himself in dark. Yuri can jiggle either side of this ramp area. And Able J is... they're just able to juke around this smoke, juke the players out with the time running low, and you can see, again, Able J winning a fight, no armor, against an AUG coming through a smoke. And a round that Furia had no business winning. The bomb plant was great with the smokes going down. They've won, winning P250 duels with no armor against fully armored opponents with AUGs, etc., coming through smokes. And that's going to be a bit of a tone. Astralis did everything right as far as I can tell, but if you're losing those fights, things are going to get a little bit interesting for you. And the start of this game was very interesting, very back and forth. Astralis obviously losing that round they shouldn't have in the previous one. And this one here, Furia are going to lose a round they shouldn't have. So Dupree and Magis decide to go for a top push or a lobby push. And it's going to be dealt with very well by Furia. The trade out, 4v3 with the gun advantage. You're going to be pretty happy with that. Zip Molly's ramp and him and Glaive are going to gamble stack this top area. Device being the third player in secret. So at this point, we've got a 4v3 for Furia. They don't know where Device is, but you can see they're just launching out Hut. They kill those two players pushing. They just presume, oh, we've killed the two top guys. Let's just go out there very fast. They're not patient with 1:05 left on the clock. You can work out exactly where the holes in the defense. It's impossible to hold the whole map with 3 people and find the weakness going together. But what's going to happen? Well, Device, he's going to get his kill outside here. Probably wouldn't have changed either way. Yuri's going to go down. But Quesarado and Art, leading with the AWP, go straight out towards top. But because of Astralis' faster rotation, and understanding this is potentially, if Furia don't really have the patience to wait this one out, it's going to happen, they're just going to maul these 2 players coming out here. And you can see, it wasn't even the 3 players going out Hut. Able J, he was just holding ramp. He wasn't really part of this push at all, so they just sent 2 players out there. We saw Zip mow them down along with Glaive and a bit of help from Quesarado in there. But yeah, just like that, the lack of patience cost Furia the round. And it's Astralis making some little bit of a gambly rotation, putting Glaive and Zip in there, but it pays off, and it only pays off because Furia were really impatient. So the back and forth nature continues, and Astralis right back in the control of the economy, but not for long. And that's because Astralis, they give up the opening pick once again in this round, but Furia, they learn from their mistake after getting this pick, they spread back out, cover all the areas, make sure Astralis can't push for any information, which forces Astralis to play more spread out. They can't rotate towards top as fast as possible. You can see Device and Glaive's point of views here. And this is going to do a very simple busty execute on towards this top site. Notice they're all grouped up, 4 players outdoor, and they're going to hit those shots. Very simple round from Furia, but it's basically exactly what they should have done last time, but they've done it this time, and they've got the round straight back thanks to that opening pick at the beginning of the round. Astralis did, however, save 2 AWPs, and they did incredible work into the next round. 2 kills from Glaive towards outside and then ramp, and then Device on the lower bomb site locks these players in, trying to get down that ramp for the plant on the lower bomb site. So that round went straight back in towards Astralis' favour, and that's where we end up again on round 7. It's at this point that Astralis start to lock out Furia, and they stop giving up these opening picks. You can see Dupree is going to win his fight on towards Art, and smoke off that area, making sure that basically everything's under control from Astralis. But when I said they're going to stop giving up opening picks, well, they didn't in this scenario, but this is going to be the round where Furia, they just pull the magic out the hat. They're just going to open up a bomb site they had no business opening up at all. You can see they're going to just end up walking out this door entrance and winning the fights as I've been talking about. So you can see as Vinny walks out here and kills Glaive, well, I've spoiled it. He's about to kill him. He's going to kill Glaive. There's also Dupree up here, ready to trade towards Door. And then there's also Magisk up here towards Hut. So a very strong top setup from Astralis with a man advantage. There's no way at all that Furia should be winning this, but as I said at the beginning, the star power is just too strong. Rider's got a Mac 10, he's going to find Dupree, and he's also going to wrap on towards Magisk staying alive and winning these fights. He's going to pick up the AUG and get that bomb down. So we're in a 2v2 with the bomb down, very winnable for both teams. Slight favour obviously towards Furia with the bomb down, but he's going to find the kill on towards Zip, looking up into the air, and then this fearlessness from Furia, double peeking together, and you can't kill 2 people with an AWP unless they line up. So great double peek from Furia, star power from Rider to get the 4K on a round they never should have won. 3 plays in that top site, but they still win it. And this round 7 is incredibly important because it nets them round 8 because Astralis' economy is back in the bin. And at 4 rounds, you're already looking pretty good on the T side of Nuke. And as I said, Astralis does do a pretty good job of locking Furia out. Furia don't have a great amount of finesse around how they play. They look for those jewels, and if they kind of live and die by them in particular. So this round here is going to be a fast top split from Furia. Device is going to find that first kill, and they know this AWP is outside. But I love the confidence right now. They're not shying away from the game plan or worrying about this AWP. They're happy to push in here together, and Yuri, along with Vinny, are going to win this fight on towards Device as he comes back in trying to get more information. And while this is going on, I also love the homework Furia have done. It looks like they're playing a very brawly style of CS, and they are. They're looking for these fights a lot of the time, but they also know how Astralis are going to rotate, their favorite ways to rotate when this smoke wall does come out outside. One of the few times they actually have thrown the smoke wall, as you can see here, and they're able to find openings in the map. As you can see here, as this top split comes in and they have control of outside, Art is confident just to walking around here with his Mac 10, understanding that there is potentially an opening here, and this is the kind of stuff that Furia live and die by. Not only is Art creeping out here, but Yuri's taking a fight outside as well, looking for these potential 1v1s or where there might be the opening in the Astralis defense. But it's going to be, because there's a fight outside, Art's going to continue creeping after seeing no one. Him and Rider are looking for this opening towards this top side. Obviously identifies some kind of a weakness. You can see Magis goes down, and from there, everything's fair game. The top bomb side is gone. It's a 4v5 for Furia, and they haven't done anything crazy. They've won that fight outside towards Device, and they've crept out that squeaky door area, obviously having some kind of read on how Astralis like to rotate. So, yeah, good round by them here to find their 6th, and as we continue on in this, obviously 6 rounds is definitely enough on the T side. You've just got to have a good CT side, which is exactly what we're going to see after these kills come through from Vinny and Art. So there's going to be the first one, and then Vinny's going to come through, and it's 6-9 in the first half. Now, despite that good T side, things start to look a little bit grim when Astralis pick up the T pistol round. But I'm just going to say this game continues as it's been going so far, and the fearlessness of Furia is going to bring them this round back. So Art's going to find this kill outside on towards Magisk, shooting him through that wall there, but also Astralis got a nice vent drop in, and Dupree is going to trade this one right back. And basically what Astralis end up doing is they go for this unders crunch. You can see Dupree has basically cleared this whole unders area. He's come from that secret area all the way down these stairs, They know that there's no one here, and Glaive as well as Zip are going to be two players coming through this ramp area as Device monitors this lobby position. He finds Quesarado right here, and he's going to fall back away to outside. And it's at this point where I think Astralis play a little bit timid, maybe a little bit scared of the fact that Furia have been hitting these headshots. You can see Zip locks himself back in here towards this ramp area, helping watch that smoke to make sure no one can push into Glaive. Yuri finds Device outside, and they're left in a 3v3. Now, the problem I have with this is they just want to hide and play time, it looks like. You can see Zip gets information towards that area before just tucking himself in dark, and then they have the trade potential here in Dupree and Glaive. Now, for me, this is enough information. I think Astralis, I think maybe Zip in this one, should have gone back towards that ramp area, taken this fight towards a player such as Vinny coming here. Even if there's two players coming forth here, I think he has to be confident. And it looks like Astralis aren't confident in themselves at the moment, because you can see they want to just play here, play more passive, which is fine, but you also need information. You can see they just allow these players to creep in. Vinny says, fellas, just wait a second. They've given me all the space in the world. He's going to creep around here. He's just going to find Zip just sitting here waiting, no information on his behalf, as you can tell, and then the fake flash comes in, Dupree goes down, and Glaive is left in a 1v3. So I think Astralis, they need to be assertive, they need to be confident in these fights, but maybe having their head shot off multiple times throughout this series has made them a little less confident. They want to play time, don't want to give up anything, but end up giving up a lot of map control. And just like that, Furia are like, thank you very much, we'll take the second round and full control of this half. And they managed to convert the 4 spies from Astralis, bringing us to 9-10. You can see what Astralis made very famous. This outside wrap starts to come in. Zip is going to lose his fight in here towards ramp, meaning the ramp player is in this position, but Glaive and Co are wrapping outside. And because ramp had to fight that way, it means, okay, they're a little bit slow to maybe fight outside, as we saw Ents doing in a previous video I made about a month ago. So Glaive gets the kill on here with Able J, and this is the deadly top split we've seen Astralis make famous, and what I think started a lot of their dominance on this map in that incredible streak they had that Ents ended very recently. So they set this one up, and you can see it's going to be a great reaction from Furia. You've got Dupree coming in here towards Heaven. You're going to have Device coming in here through Annex along with Glaives. They're splitting on top this way, and then you've got Magic's control in this lobby area, making sure basically they've got full control of all areas coming in here, except for Hut. Now, what Furia have done very well, and this is a good round by both teams, Astralis took a lot of map control, Furia did great reaction here, is the player in Yuri, he gave up that outside area where he was fighting earlier on. He's going to run back around here, and he's going to wrap towards this Hut area to try and support Quesarado. So they've kind of swapped positions, the Ts and the CTs, as this top split comes in. So you're going to get a first kill in here from Vinny, but Dupree actually is somewhat undetected. As you saw, Yuri has moved all the way around. He's going to find Vinny, and he's also going to find the player coming up vent in Art. Now, at this point here, a little something called the bomb becomes a problem for Astralis. So Quesarado is going to find his first kill in here coming out Hut with 12 seconds left. Now, I want you to look at the screen right now. Look at where this bomb travels on your screen. So it's going to play it. That bomb rolls right in towards the Hut. And this is going to be a big problem for Astralis because Magisk, he does a good job. He trades onto this player in Hut. Quesarado going down, but he's forced to step forward in this top rush. Yuri's rotated around, and there's nothing really Dupree can do. That bomb's stuck in the Hut. There's no time left, and Yuri just has to hide and make sure he doesn't get killed. So with the first gun round going Furia's way, and then once again converting the anti-force spy or anti-eco, we find ourselves in the second gun round, where Astralis try to change up the pace towards ramp, but Able J proves up to the task, and he mows down 4 of the Astralis members, putting their hopes and dreams of that round basically in the bin, getting themselves to 13-10 on the CT side, which is exactly where you want to be if you want a chance against Astralis. Now, it's at this point here where Astralis go back to playing their regular game and manipulating the rotations. They take ramp, but they've also got Glaive pincering in here from the other side of unders, and it's going to work out quite well for them. And this is why Astralis are scary. It's their T side of Nuke, which is a problem. And this round's going to go right the way of Astralis. A little bit of a throwback to round 17, where they lost that force buy round that I talked about. Is Device being one of the confident players, the only player I think that went positive in this one for Astralis, they take all of unders, is Device is going to be the player single-handedly winning this one. He's going to get the kill down, but it's going to be very similar to the force buy. I want Zip to come back towards ramp. Device actually does it here, and he was the one player that looked confident against Furia. He was the player that showed up, and you can see he doesn't even need to in this scenario, but he's going to get it. He takes out Yuri, and he also takes out Quesarado, leaving the 2 players down here towards Windows that we talked about before. And Quesarado, after not really finding anything, he starts to think better of it, and he's just going to save. So Astralis back into this one, 11 to 13, and they continue to do this throughout the next couple of rounds, manipulating these rotations, even putting Furia in a bit of a weaker buy, and you can see they start to claw this one back, and it ends up at a scoreline of 13 to 14. And you can see Astralis aren't down there. They're going to continue rinsing this outside pressure, using the smoke wall that they made famous, and Furia seem to have no answer, at least no tactical one. As the outside wall comes in, Yuri's trying to fight over the top of it. You can see his X-ray up there on top of the warehouse, but Device is going to find him, winning this fight. And then Glaive, who's gotten down here again, taking control of this unders area, even with the 2 USPs in play from Furia, he's going to find the player in art eventually trying to wrap in here on outside. So he's going to find the player there, and he's going to be very aware of what's going on and find the player trying to wrap around in Able J. And at this point, 4v2, everything looks lost for Furia. That's until the individual players start to make another appearance. Vinny's going to come out here. He's going to kill one of the full H players in Glaive, straight winning that fight, and then straight away killing Dupree as well. However, Caesarado's found himself in lobby while this chaos is going on outside, and along with Vinny's kills, he's going to find himself up the ladder on timing, just sneaking past Device, who is holding from back lobby. He doesn't hear the sound cues either, because Caesarado gets on top of here, and as Vinny goes down, he's going to find Zip completely unsuspecting his position, and he then does this, and I don't think that was calculated. That's just pure luck. My heart stopped when that happened, but he survived. He's left in the 1 HP battle against Device, basically, and he's just going to have his crosshair in the right spot, winning that fight, and there's 15 rounds for Furia. But just because they get to this 15 rounds doesn't mean they have a solution to what Astralis have been doing. And the reason I say this is because of how they set up in this particular round. It is straight up a gamble. You can see Astralis take full outside control again. They're going to just be wrapping around. Glaive and Dupree taking full control of this area. They've left Zip to monitor lobbies. There's going to be no lobby pushes like we saw in that round where the bomb rolled in towards Hut, giving Furia that one. It was well played for them as well. But as this wrap comes in from Astralis, Furia have left top incredibly weak. So if this top split did come in, they've got 4 entrances to watch, right? Well, Vinny, he's got Annex. And then the other player in top with him is going to be Caesarado, and he's got Heaven. So no one watching Hut and no one watching the Squeaky Door entrance. Interesting, but also, you know, in these top splits that Astralis do generally take first contact from Annex or Heaven, so the crosshair placement makes sense, but it's still very weak on a 2v5 coming in from all directions on this top area. And they do this, they can start very heavy towards ramp. Yuri watching, obviously, the ramp entrance from the regular entrance, and then you're going to have Able J hiding in here behind back box. And basically what's going to happen is this is going to pay off. Astralis are going to end up doing a ramp hit, which was definitely plausible in this one. Yuri's going to win that fight, and then Able J has some of the easiest kills of his life. And just like that, it's pretty depressing for the other Astralis members. There's no time left. They got to try and get up here and grab the bomb, but basically this one's over, and Furia, they don't really counter it, but they take a guess, they take a gamble, and it pays off, and they nets them their 16th round and sends Astralis packing. So I think Furia, they made some good decisions, did what they had to do to win, some great individual plays, which we didn't see from Astralis, and they definitely deserve this one. So, as usual, make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.